attempts and was sacked for a safety. Vrabel said on TitansOnline.com, quote, "We want to make sure that we can protect our quarterback. That's important," end quote. No word on what the team can do before Thursday night's final preseason game at Chicago. Monday baseball, Cardinals won their fifth in a row, pounding the Brewers 12-2. Reds beat the Marlins 6-3. Rockies over the Braves 3-1. That's your Tuesday Sports Edge. Search for Wildcat Lair on Facebook. I'm Eddie Owen.
At Kentucky Homes Realty, real estate is their life, and sold is their favorite word. Kelly Mitchell, principal broker and owner, invites you to contact her office if you're looking to buy a home. They've teamed up with Movement Mortgage to provide a way for you to have the home of your dreams. Go to kyhomes247.com and find out exactly how much home you can afford. It takes less than 60 seconds to get the ball rolling.
This is Kelly Mitchell with Kentucky Homes Realty. Contact me and let's make this dream of yours a reality.
Hello, this is Gloria Smith with the Law Office of Jeff Ruesseau. Are you buying or selling real estate? Are you planning on refinancing your existing home loan? If so, you should be aware that you have your choice in which attorney provides the legal services associated with such transactions. Our law office has over 50 years of experience in real estate law. We pride ourselves on being cost-effective and having a quick turnaround time. If you're in need of such services, call us today at 365-2763 or find us on the web at www.jeffrussolaw.com. We are located in downtown Princeton on the east side of the courthouse.
This is an advertisement.
You've been listening to your WPKY News Edge. Find news 24 hours a day at WPKYOnline.com. Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The president of Iran is backing off the idea of meeting with President Trump.
Hassan Rouhani saying Iran is always ready to talk, but Rouhani saying unless U.S. sanctions are lifted, the deadlock will not be unlocked. He calls the American penalties illegal, oppressive and wrong, and says we're not after photo opportunities.
Fox's Simon Owen. 2 children are killed in a crash involving a stolen police cruiser in Dayton, Ohio.
There were at least 2 occupied vehicles involved, other occupied vehicles involved in this incident. There were at least 11 removals from those other 2 vehicles to several different hospitals.
Dayton Police Major Eric Henderson there. The suspect now in custody is also hurt in that crash. Police say he stole the vehicle from an officer responding to a call about a stabbing. America is listening to Fox News.
W277CK Princeton. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
All right, we got that chance of showers. About a 60% chance. Should die down by this evening, a high near 82. Clear overnight tonight, low 61. Sunny for tomorrow, going to be gorgeous, a high near 79. And sunshine for Thursday, a high near 82. Your Weather Edge Futurecast showing sunshine lasting all the way through the Labor Day holiday with temps steady in the lower 80s. Again, that 60% chance of showers should die down by this evening, a high 82. Currently 74 at WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Big John's Barbecue. Time to take a look at community news here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. This morning's community news is brought to you by Community Medical Clinic.
Well, get that camera out. The Caldwell County Democratic Women's Club will be offering the 34th annual Cutest Baby Contest for children 2 and under for residents and non-residents of Caldwell County. Now, parents and grandparents should take a 5x7 color or black and white photo to Carol at the Woodall Agency on West Washington Street in Princeton, at $20 per photo, with the photo entry deadline on August 30th. Now, that's coming up quick. Winner's going to be announced on September 2nd and will receive a trophy as well. For more information, you can give Carol a call at 270-625-2185.
And calling all Caldwell County FFA alumni, Caldwell County FFA would like to remind all that its alumni, that Caldwell County FFA alumni meeting is today And that's the 27th, of course, at 5:30. That's the high school ag department.
Well, the First Baptist Church clothing room is going to be open today. Now, that is this morning from 8:30 until 10:30 a.m., and that's actually the fourth Tuesday of every month is that way again. Of course, your next opening is this morning, and it's going to start here in about 25 minutes or so and last until 10:30. Now, there will be a large selection of clothing for men, women, and children. Please use the Cave Street entrance store. First Baptist Church is located at 300 West Main Street in Princeton.
Calling all youth, 6th through the 12th grades, youth groups, and teams of any size. You're welcome and encouraged to join Christ Tabernacle Church for the United Youth Back to School Bash. That's coming up tomorrow, the 28th, from 5:30 to 8 at 1839 US 62 West in Princeton. That's Christ Tabernacle. Please encourage kids to come and be a part of this uplifting event. The mission to know God, find freedom, discover purpose, and make a difference. Groups of any size and denomination are welcome and encouraged. Transportation is also available. RSVPs are appreciated. For more information, please call 270-365-1744 or 625-0078, or you can check them out online at christabernacleky.org.
Well, load up the kids and the lawn chairs. Bring the whole family to the Princeton Proud Block Party. Now, that's on the Butler Lawn in Princeton on Saturday, August 31st from 5 to 7 p.m. Free food, bouncy house, dunking booth, face painting, and more.
All right, and the Black Patch Book Sale, Saturday, August 31st through Saturday, September the 7th. Make sure you get a good place in line for the grand opening and check back every day during the sale for restocks and new donations. Sale opens each morning at 9 a.m., open late September 3rd and 5th till 5 o'clock for those who work throughout the day. For more information, call the library, 270-365-2884.
If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Hypnosis can help. Join the over 500,000 people who have attended Mark Patrick Hypnosis programs with weight loss results. Mark Patrick Hypnosis will be in Hopkinsville on Thursday, September 12th. Summer's over. It's time to get back on track.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I had lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
For only $49.99, lose all the weight you want, 100% guaranteed. Thursday, September 12th at the Holiday Inn Hotel, 2910 Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville. Seminar time is 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Registration begins at 5 p.m. Attend this program and find out how the power of hypnosis can help you achieve your weight loss goals. There's limited seating, so get there early. Learn more at markpatrickseminars.com.
This is Jerry Gillum of AgWest Financial. I'm excited to introduce AgriChem as our new retail partner in the region. AgWest and AgriChem share the same philosophy, working together for your success. And with our new partnership, AgriChem goes beyond seed, fertility, and crop protection products with the addition of AgWest loan products, including secured and unsecured lines of credit, leasing options, and real estate, facility, and equipment loans. Call me, Jerry Gillum, at the AgriChem office in Hopkinsville for more information.
Ah, it's summertime and the air conditioner is running non-stop. Hard to believe, in a few short months it'll be time to turn on the heat. Fortner Gas is offering a great summer special right now. That means the lowest priced propane of the year. Now is the time to take advantage and get propane tanks filled at the lowest price of the year. Customers can also pre-buy for winter at a locked-in rate. Call Fortner Gas in Princeton today.
1580 103.3 WPKY Coffee Talk is on the air. Morning conversations about things of interest to you. If you'd like to be a guest on Coffee Talk, just email us your information at WPKYonline@gmail.com. We're proud to call Caldwell County home. WPKY.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Test and tie at 8:09. And this is one of those days that I've been looking forward to for a while, and I've been talking about it for a while, because we're going to do a whole series on hunting and hunting leases and hunting grounds and licenses. And, of course, we've also got Dr. Rogers. I just talked to him a few minutes ago. We're going to have him come in and talk about different things that are going on, because there's a lot of things going on with the deer this year and medically and all that good stuff. But before we can even get to that part, kind of kicking off the whole series of different shows that we're going to do for Coffee Talk, Mr. Jeff Ruesseau-Attorney, I had called the other day and I said, help me out here, because when it comes to leasing your property to hunt, and when it comes to, what are the ins and outs of it? Can I cover myself? Or maybe you're a person that wants to go hunt this year and you're going to have to go lease some property. What are the ins and outs? I didn't know. And I mean, we've been in the area forever, my family has, but we always go hunting at our place, Ty. I mean, it's not anything that, I guess I've been fortunate enough that I've really had to deal with.
Well, when you have your own land, it's a pretty simple thing. You have a right to hunt on that property. Also here today, of course, is Caldwell County Attorney Roy Massey is here to give his input as well.
That.
So we're privileged to have two pretty knowledgeable guys here to talk about. You brought this subject up and said, there's a lot of folks that own ground here in our county that somebody might just come up randomly and knock on the door and go, hey, I'd like to hunt on your property, or I'd like to lease your property.
Right.
So there are some questions and some things that these guys might be able to help if that happens. And also, if you decide you might want to enter into a hunting lease or something, there are a few little things here. We're not going to cover all the laws. We can't do that today and that, but we can just probably give some pointers just in case some of these things develop in your life.
Well, and I think that's necessary in a lot of ways, because most of us, we don't know. And I think, when we try to say we do know, it's usually passed on information, and it's not necessarily, a brother tells a brother or a neighbor, or you go to church with a guy that somebody hunts on him, and he said, and I you want to trust them, but at the same time, you want to cover yourself, because in this day and age, and covering yourself, I mean, that's a huge thing. So I called and I said, help me, because I don't know. I have no idea how you would even go about doing that. And I didn't know till someone approached my dad, and I said, whoa, what is that about? So sometimes you don't have to go looking for it. It comes looking for you. And I think it's important for property owners, and especially hunting is right around the corner. Deer season, here we are, and turkey and that sort of thing. So I thought we'd kick off the series with exactly how do we get all of this stuff lined out with our leases. Where do we start, Mr. Ruesseau?
Well, I think it can arise at a couple different ways. And for instance, the story about your dad, Roy and I talked before we ever came on the air. If someone comes up to your door and knocks on it with a wad of cash, can I hunt your land? Well, yeah, you can let them if you want to, but would we advise it? No, we think there's several steps that need to be taken beforehand before you just let somebody come out there and show up with their firearm or bow and take off trucking through your woods there.
Right, but it's like you and I were talking about, and I want to be honest when we have a show like this too. I mean, because there's a lot of people that are on fixed incomes, and when somebody knocks on your door with a fistful of cash, it can sound pretty good, especially if you're not hunting on it yourself. But I want to know, how do we go about that? And if it is possible, how do we go about that legally? Where do we start? Where do we, is our first call to you? Where do we begin?
Well, I don't think the absolute first call has to be straight to us or to a lawyer's office. I do think it's important to start off between the landowner and the prospective hunter. If there's a sense that you can come to terms and work out a basic agreement as far as what it's worth to the individual wanting to hunt, what the landowner would take for it. I think there's a lot of things that have to go into it first before you just up and call the lawyer's office and say, hey, I need you to put pen to paper and start drawing this up for me. So we've got to have some kind of fundamental agreement before you want to just make an appointment at the attorney's office and start putting a lease together.
And I would agree with Jeff. The terms of the agreement are going to be made by those parties. As an attorney, you can't really decide those terms for those parties. They're going to be unique to each individual's farm. When someone contacts you to have a lease agreement for hunting rights or hunting purposes on a farm, everyone, like you said, would like to make money off of their farm, and it's an income-producing piece of property. So there's lots of people here locally in Caldwell County that are interested in that do that on a yearly basis or annual basis. But with that being said, each lease is going to be unique in that if you don't have some type of agreement that's put into some type of writing or format, you have to talk about things like, four-wheeler trails. Things come up like, can I actually cut trees down to make trails? Do you care if I put stands on your property? If I'm going to put a tree stand on your property, it can't be a permanent fixture, so it has to be something I take down after the season. Do you care what type of ammunition? Can I use a high-powered rifle, or I'm simply going to be using a crossbow or archery? Are there certain houses or residents in that area that I'm not permitted to hunt around? Where are the adjoining landowners' property lines at? Can I hunt 50 acres of this 200-acre farm or all 200 acres of the farm? Is it going to be used for agricultural purposes during that hunting period? And if so, how is that going to affect the time that I'm hunting that? So the days of the handshake agreement and saying, hey, you can come on, bring your brother, bring your son, bring your father, and you all can hunt for deer season or turkey season or duck season, those days are kind of gone, unfortunately, because people kind of take advantage of those situations, and you have two individuals that have different ideas as to what that lease agreement is actually going to entail. So that's why we always suggest that you put any type of agreement that you have in writing. That way both parties know exactly what the terms of that agreement are going to be and what the expectations are going to be.
Well, even like the times, like, you can hunt between this time and that time. Or, if you've got children and you say, look, now my home is located here, don't hunt anywhere around this. I don't want you,
Right.
close to my livestock. There are so many things and the ins and outs of all of it. I'll tell you, it's really kind of overwhelming for a property owner to try to remember each and every little detail, as far as what to put in that. But that also covers the hunter as well. And I mean, I want to say it from that part too. We're not just worried about covering the home owner and the property owner. You're talking about also, this is covering, that hunter.
Absolutely. That hunter that's coming onto your property, in today's time, it's not cheap to lease hunting rights or hunting ground. So they have something invested as well. They have their equipment, their time, their energy. We're seeing more and more individuals coming from out of state, definitely out of county, to lease property. So they have something at stake just like that property owner does. Of course, the property owner is concerned about damage to their property, things of that nature, but that hunter has just as much at stake usually in that lease agreement as the actual property owner does.
And, there's been, when you mentioned the handshake. Now, what if, you've got somebody that's been hunting on you for 20 years and, maybe it's time to, go ahead and get that agreement in place.
That's correct. I would say my family's been at fault probably for still doing handshake agreements. We allow some individuals, forever to come on our farm. We've never did it as a commercial practice, actually lease property out. But even if you have someone that you trust, a friend, even if your lease agreement is not going to have any type of monetary consideration, even if it's just one of those things where you're agreeing to let them come on and hunt just because you've known them forever or known their family, you may still want to think about putting that agreement in some type of writing. Anytime you invite someone onto your property, you're going to have some type of liability issues possibly. There is some law out there that says, you can invite, the landowner can invite someone on and they're not automatically liable if something happens. I don't want people to think that or be scared to actually invite someone onto your property, because that's not the case. But everyone knows when someone does come onto your property, things can happen and things do happen, and there can be some liability issues that arise as that.
That's where I was going next, is that when you have somebody on your property, with firearms, riding four-wheelers, accidents unfortunately do happen from time to time, and there are some liability considerations when you ask people. But it is something, like you said, that we shouldn't be totally fearful of,
right,
because that's what the law is in place, and insurance, of course.
Right.
But tell us you don't have to go into great detail. Tell us a little bit about that,
and
Jeff.
I think, has some information about a company that actually specializes in hunting leases. And
yeah, there are. Matter of fact, there's you can find as many companies that offer hunting lease liability insurance, just like you could find a homeowner's policy or an auto owner's policy. And going back, just thinking of things that need to go on before you actually put the pen to paper. Something I thought of when you're meeting with a prospective hunter, and let's say you do agree to terms, and we're pretty close to what we want as far as an agreement in writing. I do think there's some things that the landowner needs to go ahead and try and take care of on their own to try and cut through some of this red tape that gets associated with some of this stuff. For instance, if you're going to have somebody out there, it's a good idea to go ahead and physically inspect the property yourself. Nothing wrong with taking your side-by-side or your gator or whatever it is, going out and going over the lines of your property, making sure there's not any man-made hazards or something like that out there. It'd be a good idea to mark any hazards or hazardous conditions that you see. I always tell people it's a good idea. I understand it's really expensive to just go out and pay for a survey, but if you know where your lines are and if you're able to go out there and mark them with paint or signs, also a good idea. And then again, if you can find those lines, I always advise people, if you know where they are, as a matter of protection, it's a good idea to post either no hunting or no trespassing signs, whatever you want to call them. And then again, as far as legwork outside of the actual drafting the paperwork, I also think when you're meeting with these prospective hunters, it's a good idea to answer their questions as far as specific items about your property, but I also think it's important to convey your expectations to them. As Roy said, this is not one-sided, and the agreement is in place to protect not only the hunter but also the landowner and vice versa. So going back, what do they say? I digress. These companies that offer these hunting lease liability policies, or otherwise known as what I've seen as hunt club policies, you can basically go out and shop around. You can get a quote, and a lot of the terms you see are just like you would find in a homeowner's or like I said, or a auto policy. You can get per occurrence. They've got, for instance, one thing I saw yesterday, they've got $1 million per occurrence or $2 million in the aggregate. I mean, that's terms that we're used to seeing in any insurance policy. So these companies, they basically offer their fee schedules based on usually a couple things: number of hunters and the square acreage of the land that you're providing someone to hunt on. So getting that policy in place will put some safeguards in there for you.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Is the number of hunters versus acreage and that sort of thing.
Correct.
Are you allowing more than one, and how much is too many on a certain amount of acreage? There is so many things.
There really is. I mean, those agreements can be as detailed as you want them to be. We've had agreements that actually detail exactly the size of deer that you can take.
Oh, wow.
If it's a 150-inch deer, 140-inch deer. There's some landowners, of course, that do not want 2.5-year-old deer killed on their property, and it's very understandable to actually let the deer grow and mature. So they actually limit the deer you can actually harvest, or the type of turkey you can harvest. So it gets very detailed, the expectations of both parties as far as those lease agreements go.
Well, and I've even heard when you talk about the hunt club lease, I've even about, it's one thing if you're leasing your ground, but what if you wrote down a map of your property on a napkin and handed it to them? Well, then it's a guide. Then you go into something completely different. Then it's a guided hunt. So, I mean, there's so many ins and outs to it. I think the biggest thing with it is that you need to check with somebody that knows. And that's where, you all come in. And because with the hunt club now, they would know about those sorts of things as well, correct? About the acreage versus how many hunters and that sort of thing on those leasing companies. Now, that's something that they take care of as well.
Yeah, it is. And particularly when you contract with a specific insurance agency, and if you're one of those, if you own multiple plots of ground or multiple farms, let's say in Caldwell County, you contract with one of these companies, and they'll come out and I suppose, for lack of a better term, map things out for you,
right?
And basically get as good of an idea as the land that you own as yourself. So they'll really come in and try to get a handle on that.
Well, and how do you know how much to charge? I mean, if you don't want to do that, I mean, is there a place that we can go and look at and say these are the standards and
most of your hunting lease agreements are not public record. They're not a deed or your normal agreements recorded in the county clerk's office. There may be some in there, I'm sure there are, but it's not something you see on a regular basis. So as far as determining exactly what the going rate is, I don't know what that is. I've seen it all over the map, to be completely honest.
I was going to ask, these documents aren't recordable then? They're just between...
They are recordable.
They are recordable?
Well, they would be recordable, I think.
Okay.
I can't say I've ever seen a hunting lease agreement recorded, but kind of like a purchase contract or something of that nature. It does deal with real estate. Tony Watson could probably answer that. I hate to put, but
Tony, I'll be calling later.
Yeah, but I don't know as far as the going rate, to be completely honest.
Well, and when you think about that, I know you can pick up forms like at UK, and they have forms out there that you can just pick up, but they're very, very vague forms, and and that's something that you would need to add to, you know.
And once again, those lease agreements, some are for the entire year or for a period of years. Some are just for waterfowl season, deer season, turkey season, spring or fall. So it all depends on exactly what that whole lease agreement is encompassing as far as your hunting rights go.
Well, and of course, you know, when you have somebody that you're going into a contract with, you also want to make sure that they are up on their licenses as well. You know, you don't want someone on your property from out of state or in state that is not licensed as well.
Correct, and we usually put language in the past when we drafted up lease agreements or hunting lease agreements for people. That's one of the very first paragraphs. They have to comply with all rules and regulation in Kentucky law involving hunting and things of that nature. So,
and is it any different from somebody coming out of state versus somebody in state that is hunting there, or is all of the stuff the same?
I'm going to defer to Roy here.
As far as the drafting the lease agreement, nothing really changed from that individual. It would change as far as their licensing and things of that nature. They are required to have different licensing and permits if you're out of state versus a resident hunter, and depending on how long they're going to be in the state and hunting for.
Is there any way you can check that? I mean, are you kind of just going by their word of mouth?
As far as validating someone's...
Right.
They should anymore. The licensing part of it, you can get a license online, by the phone, at your local Walmart, post office, and anymore you have an authorization number, actual old school piece of paper you fill out with your name, age, height, sex. So anyone should be able to produce that to you and show that they have a valid Kentucky residence or hunting license, whether it be for deer, turkey, whatever they're trying to harvest.
Well, I'll tell you, my mind is blown on it. It really was. I didn't know. I didn't even think about till you started saying that list of different things that you want to make sure. When you were talking about that a while ago, I was like, okay, I had questions before, but now I have
and
really
of course you have access
questions.
Points. That's always a big thing.
Yeah, how your ingress and egress, where you're getting in and out, and then and these things can be as detailed as down to the final detail.
Yes.
I mean, and it's whatever you can think of and imagine, you can actually put in any kind of agreement.
Well, alcohol, things like that, if they're going to be camping. I mean, just little things like that.
Disposal of your waste, how that's going to be disposed of.
And like Roy says, it is a highly specified and detailed document, depending on what you have in your area. But what interests me more than anything, and we see this a lot in our area, is somebody comes in, they don't know, they may be on ground, but then they end up trespassing, or whether that's willfully or unknowingly trespass. So tell us a little bit about what a landowner has as far as trespassing is concerned.
Well, there's a couple of different types of trespass. Your criminal trespass you usually see is that you'll see the term knowingly. Someone has to knowingly trespass an area to be charged criminally with some type of trespass.
Boy, that's
first,
a fuzzy
second, or third
thing
degree.
too.
It is, but there's also a separate statute that deals with just hunting and the taking or harvesting of animals. And that statute does not require you to knowingly enter or trespass that property to actually be cited. It's actually a arrestable offense. So it's your obligation, your duty to know exactly where you're at all times. If you're on the correct piece of property, know where those boundary lines are. Another thing we see a lot is people that walk railroad tracks or right-of-ways. People assume that, especially rabbit hunting and things of that nature, they'll walk a railroad track. Well, that's private property as well. A railroad track's not publicly owned property that you can cross someone else's property on to hunt. So at any point in time, if you're on a piece of property, know exactly where you're at all times. Make sure you're on the correct piece of property. If you're not, check with the landowner and have them validate that these are where the pins are set and this is where the property line lays.
Power lines are another thing that a lot of people like to follow, because it's usually a power line, almost makes a trail or a road, especially out in the country through the woods, that sort of thing. And of course, they're not to do that either, correct?
That is correct. That is not public land as well. That's actually privately owned land.
And Jeff, I'm on the property I'm supposed to be on, and I shoot that big buck, and guess what? It wanders over to Mr. Johnson's farm.
Don't go on Mr. Johnson's farm.
Yeah, I would say you better be asking Mr. Johnson to retrieve that animal.
I think that's the old wise tale. Everyone thinks, well, I shot this big, 160 class deer on my property. It jumped the fence. I can see it just 100 yards out in the field. I have the right to go retrieve that deer. That is not true under Kentucky law. You have no right to go retrieve any type of animal that you've disposed of that's crossed another property line's owner, or if you have dogs, hunting dogs, bird dogs, things of that nature, beagle hounds, if they've got on their piece of property, you technically do not have the right to go on that property and retrieve those dogs without that landowner's permission to do so.
And that's whether it's posted or not.
That's correct. I mean, like Jeff said, it's a great idea to post no trespassing signs or signs getting people notice that that's the boundary line. But if you know that's not your property, the property that you're entitled to hunt on, you do not have the right to enter on that property.
I'll tell you, that's a great, because that happens all the time.
Sure.
Because when you shoot them, or they get injured, a lot of times that adrenaline kicks in, and you're going to be trailing them for a little while. Or the dogs, they get excited because they're hot on the trail, and they are under the fence, over the fence, across the creek, they're gone. Right. And that happens so often.
And usually that's no fault of the hunter.
Right.
Most people, I would assume, would be very, accommodating if that was to happen to an individual. You have an animal that's right across a property line, or a dog that's chased a rabbit, ran across.
Hey, it's happened to me before, and we've gone next door and said, hey, that our deer has jumped the fence and it's somewhere on you. Do you mind if we go back and look? It's happened to us before.
I've got a Yorkie that does the same thing.
that Yorkie going out. They're great deer hunters, by the way, but I think we see that a lot. The good thing about our area, our rural areas, for the most part, adjacent landowners know each other and they cooperate with each other. It's when, we do know we have an influx of out-of-state hunters and hunters from different areas that come in here, especially for deer season. And that's when I think it probably gets a little tricky.
They do. In our local farm, we have an individual that's purchased that. I think he resides in Georgia, but I have to say they've been nothing but accommodating and very nice and respectful of the property rights of Caldwell Countyans here in our area. So the best thing to do is talk to your adjoining landowner. Everyone agrees on this is the boundary line. Everyone knows what their rights are. But to have those conversations helps out. Do it beforehand, then try to do it at the last minute when something's gone wrong. You need to retrieve an animal or go on their property for whatever reason. Well,
and if you do have questions about, the law, and you have, there's accidents that can happen with livestock as well. I'm a livestock owner. I mean, it is not unheard of for livestock to be accidentally hit and that sort of thing.
Right.
But I think communication. I wasn't talking. We were just talking the other day that I put paint on the cows. I do. It's one of those things that you put bright colors on them, or you put a bright pink halter on your horse, or you try to make them where it's very obvious that they're not a deer. And sometimes things happen in the heat of the moment that you don't think are going to happen.
Right.
But communication and being upfront about it is the best case scenario usually, right?
Of course, always. Communication solves a lot of issues before they become an issue. So if you can communicate with someone that is your adjoining property owner, I'd always suggest that. And like Ty said, most of the time they've been your adjoining landowner for years and years and years. We'd have an influx of new out-of-state individuals purchasing land for hunting, but for the most part, we're still
and that can be scary too. People that you don't know. I actually had somebody in the past few years. At first, we didn't know them, but they bought some adjoining land just down the road from us. But he come and introduced himself, and he said, "Look, I'm not going to be here, but a couple of times a year, I'm going to be hunting. This is my truck. This is what I drive all the time." And he comes by every year and lets us know when he's there. And he always says, what's been going on? Have you seen anybody at my property? Have you been seeing? And I will tell you, it made us feel so much better because, we notice out there if there's a strange truck on the side of the road. Yes, we do. I mean, we know it, and we're all talking to each other about it. Do you know this guy? Where's he coming from?
Right.
And it's so much better when we know what's coming up.
Well, as Roy said, too, most of these guys are experienced sportsmen, and they are really here, most of them, to do the right thing. They're here to, Jeff, they're here to just enjoy their hunt, have a safe hunt, and, either get their trophy or their meat and then go back to where they came from.
They've made an investment.
Exactly.
To be here, and it's not something they take lightly. Roy could speak more on this, but I'm not sure, what some of these folks that come in here pay to either lease or people that come in and buy ground just for hunting. But going back as far as the communication goes, I find that anytime people can be reasonable adults about stuff like that, it cuts out a lot of conflict and confusion. So,
and I would say from the prosecution standpoint, we saw very few citations in regards to hunting last year.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. We did have a handful, but in the grand scheme of things, it was very few. We disposed of those cases pretty quickly, but I've only been in office for 2 years, so really it's only my second, I call hunting season. But yeah, it was very few. I thought it'd be a very big influx come, especially deer season. Modern firearm, but we really didn't see a.
I like
a lot of
hearing
cases.
that though.
Yes.
That is, as a property owner, and here we get worried about that.
Of course.
But that's nice to hear that we haven't had a lot.
And I'm sure there probably are things that happen that are usually misunderstandings and like you said, they come through the system pretty quick because you get it sorted out one way or the other.
Well, and these individuals, like Jeff said, that are invested in this, the thing about if you break a law in regards to hunting, these people, while they're scared of fines and court costs and even possible jail time, what they're scared of more than anything is their firearms and side-by-sides being confiscated.
Right.
They have a lot of money and time and energy invested in that, and that's one of the things they're risking once they violate one of these hunting laws, actually having that equipment taken away from them and confiscated. So.
I take it for granted. I do. I've hunted with my dad since I was a little kid, and since he used to have to carry me to walk around and do the hiking and the hunting and things, and I take it for granted that I've got some place to go when I want to go. And
it's my first memories of hunting are walking behind my father and my grandfather with a Red Ryder BB gun that you cock and just walking in their footsteps. So we hunted quail and had bird
You hunted
dogs
with
and
my
bird
dad, did you?
Yeah, I mean,
that sounds familiar.
There's nothing better than
Right.
being outside and going hunting.
Tess was in a papoose. Her dad strapped her on the papoose, and she's
permanently locked on my daddy's leg. And at 44, I still am. Thank you very much. He lives a mile from me, and I'm still permanently mounted on that pant leg. But I think that it's a wonderful, thing that you can do with your kids and your family, and hey. Especially in this day and age when you do have people that are struggling, you do have people that are on fixed incomes, hey, we just kind of wanted to cover and say, let's not make that an ugly thing. Let's figure out how to do that legally and take the questions out of it and the guesswork out of it.
And we're blessed to live in this rural area where people want to come. There are people that come from, urban areas that don't get into these wild open spaces. And, people that love to hunt, and they're good sportsmen and sportswomen, and they just want to have a good hunt. And
I take that for granted too, because when we're coming into work, I tell him all the time. I say, he was like, "Oh, how are you doing?" I was like, "Well, I played whack-a-mole and said, and peekaboo with the deer all the way to town, because you never know. There's so many of them that want to jump out in front of you all the time." It's a necessary thing too to do something with the population.
Yeah, I'm not here to advocate for hunting, of course, but we have a lot of people, and like Ty said, most are very respectful of the sport. They do it the proper way, and I think that's a reflection of what we saw from our court docket last year. Very few criminal cases from hunting violations.
But we do need to make sure, of course, you have a hunting guide here, and it is important to check that hunting guide put out by the Department of Fish and Wildlife, because things change from season to season a little bit.
They do. I'm a hunter, and I get this every single year. They make one in the spring, one in the fall, and one for fishing. Tony Watson's office, where I picked this up yesterday afternoon, I'd advise everyone to get one. It's not all-encompassing as far as all the hunting laws and regulations go, but it's a great starting point. And it will pretty much cover everything the basic hunter needs to know as far as shooting hours, ammunition, your bag limits, when season starts, when season
they even
closes.
have the special days like the youth hunts and
I think
stuff
squirrel
like
season's
that.
opening this week, so I know Jeff is ready.
Oh, sure, yeah, fired up.
Hey, I love that. I'm not good. Squirrel hunter,
I like squirrel
hunter since I was a kid.
But Jeff's really fired up. I can see it in his eyes.
Absolutely.
Little fried squirrel with homemade gravy on the side. That sounds great, doesn't it?
I hope Morgan's listening.
Guys, have we missed anything that we need to know other than, I know we can't touch on all of it, but the kind of the basic principles, I think, and I think you guys have done a really great job in helping us understand at least some things to think about as we head into the season.
I would just say the main thing is, like you said, the story with your father, someone approaching him with money. It's not that you're trying to put off that individual trying to lease the property by getting something in writing. It protects that individual as much as it does a landowner. So that agreement benefits both parties equally, I would say. So it's in both parties' interest to get something in writing, get a formal agreement drafted up. That way everyone knows the understanding of that agreement.
Well, as a hunter, I mean, you want to know that, look, this is down in writing. You said that I could go here and here and here, and this is where it was. That way, if something does happen later on, you've got it in writing.
It's good for both parties.
It really is.
It really is.
Yeah, protection for both sides.
No doubt about it.
Oh, we sure do appreciate you guys coming in.
Oh, thank you.
It's one of those things that the law. I don't even want to try to tackle it.
And
I don't want to.
And I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on it. And I'm just probably going to say the same thing. So we can't cover everything, but if
Right.
you have any questions, call us. We'll do our best to do so, or get you the information that you're.
Give the county attorney's number there, Roy.
365-5613.
Okay, and Jeff, go ahead and give your number out there. Jeff is a local attorney here in town.
Our number is 365-2763. And just to follow up, I would recommend what Roy talked about with this Kentucky hunting and trapping guide. They're available at Tony Watson's office. I think if you've got any interest, if you hunt or fish at all, this is a free publication. Go by there and get one.
Well, Fantastic. I'll tell you, Mr. Roy Massey and Caldwell County County Attorney, we sure do appreciate you coming in this morning.
Appreciate it.
And Jeff Ruesseau, thank you for picking up the phone when I called, and I kind of took him.
Got the coolest name in Princeton.
Guard.
The coolest last name in Princeton.
He has got the coolest last name in Princeton and the hardest one to spell.
I do know Tom's listening, so shout out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Tom.
Yeah,
Shout out.
Dr. Tom is. Yeah, we got to say hello. And I haven't been on the golf course lately, so you haven't had to pick up any golf balls on your back porch up there. I usually have them ducking up there. So, Dr. Tom, good morning.
You're saying you got off the green?
I mean, I off the tee, man.
No, it's on record. I've got it over there. The record button was down.
Glad Dr. Tom's listening. We appreciate it, sir.
Hey, thanks so much, and come back anytime. And I guarantee you, I'm going to end up calling again with tons of questions.
Great information. And
Great.
Thanks,
but
Tess.
that was
Thanks,
a great
Ty.
way to kind of kick off our hunting our series that we're doing. And what we're going to try to do is answer some questions and ask some questions that, maybe you don't hear every day. We hear a lot about the different licensings and where you go to pick them up and that sort of thing. And we know we have to have a fishing license or a hunting license. But there's a ton of other stuff that goes along with it that is just as important or more important in some ways. So we're going to try to do some series on that this year right before hunting season and see what we can come up with. So, stick around. We'll let you know kind of what's coming up next and what to look forward to. We just got off the phone with Dr. Rogers just a few minutes ago. And so he's going to be coming in with us. So stick around. It's Tess and Ty at 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Honey, I just switched the family to Boost Mobile, and we got so much more.
Awesome. Like what?
We got 4 free LG Stylo 5 phones for the whole family. 4 lines for just $100 a month with unlimited gigs. I smashed up the car a bit. And they have a super reliable, super fast nationwide network.
Whoa, 4 free LG... Wait, back up. Did you just say you...
4 free LG Stylo 5 phones? Yep.
No. Something about the car?
Oh, you mean Boost super reliable, super fast network?
Before that, the car smashing thing.
What? The smashing deal we got. 4 lines for $100 a month?
No. Between the 4 lines for $100 a month and the unlimited gigs part, you said I smashed up the car a bit.
I did. It's completely smashed. We need a new vehicle. But 4 free phones.
Boost Mobile, the switch that gives you more. Offer for new customers only. Ends 9/16/19. First line is $100 a month. Lines 2 to 4 free. Requires 1 port from eligible carrier and activation. Mobile optimized data. Coverage and offers not available everywhere. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
This is Mallory Hancock Lawrence, and we love our Caldwell and Line County friends. We invite you to come to Cadiz anytime you can to shop with us. We're making it even easier for you. Whether you work in Cadiz or just come to town for a visit, stop in and shop with us. But if you're in a hurry, you can pre-order your groceries at HancocksNeighborhoodMarket.com. It's so easy and convenient. Of course, we want to see your smiling face anytime we can, but if you're in a hurry, HancocksNeighborhoodMarket.com is the way to go. Hancock's Neighborhood Market, Cadiz.
Are you struggling to afford healthcare or medications? Let Health First help you. Whether you're insured, uninsured, or underinsured, you will still be cared for at Health First Community Health Center. We offer financial and prescription assistance to all those that qualify, which is based on income and household size. Contact our office for more information at 365-9455 or visit our website. Same-day appointments and walk-ins are always welcome. Located at 1100 South Jefferson Street in Princeton. At Health First, your health is our first concern.
Since 1978, Perry's Floors & More has been selling, installing, and servicing homeowners throughout Western Kentucky with quality flooring and workmanship. Perry's Floors & More carries luxury vinyl plank and luxury vinyl tile, carpet, window treatments, and more. Brands like Mannington, Shaw, Tarkett, Beaulieu, and Flexitech. Quality brands, excellent customer service, combined with 40 years experience is why they say you can walk on our reputation. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors & More, 127 West Market Street, Princeton.
Your voice was heard and you voted Pet Grooming by David Rogers #1 in pet boarding in all of Western Kentucky. David offers complete grooming, baths, and provides a personalized all-inclusive boarding resort while you are away. Thank you for voting them #1.
It's all at your fingertips now at WPKYonline.com. Local video, local news, local sports, local weather information, and of course, contests. Plus, you can listen to us on your smart device. Just click the Listen Now button. We've made it easier to find your favorite information. WPKYonline.com.
Honey, I just switched the family to Boost Mobile and we got so much more.
Awesome. Like what?
We got 4 free LG Stylo 5 phones for the whole family. 4 lines for just $100 a month with unlimited gigs. I smashed up the car a bit. And they have a super reliable, super fast nationwide network.
Whoa, 4 free LG... Wait, back up. Did you just say you...
4 free LG Stylo 5 phones? Yep.
No. Something about the car?
Oh, you mean Boost super reliable, super fast network.
Before that, the car smashing thing.
What? The smashing deal we got. 4 lines for $100 a month?
No. Between the 4 lines for $100 a month and the unlimited gigs part, you said I smashed up the car a bit.
I did. It's completely smashed. We need a new vehicle. But 4 free phones.
Boost Mobile, the switch that gives you more. Offer for new customers only. Ends 9/16/19. First line is $100 a month. Lines 2 to 4 free. Requires 1 port from eligible carrier and activation. Mobile optimized data. Coverage and offers not available everywhere. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk is on the air. And hey, I enjoyed those guys being here.
Hey, they did a fantastic
Thank you to
job. Great
Roy Massey
information.
and Jeff Ruesseau again for being here, and that was good. And that kind of started the whole thing and kind of kicked it off. And we've got a whole series coming up with hunting and that sort of thing. We're going to talk about turkey and deer. Ducks Unlimited is going to be with us on Friday, so that's going to be really fun. And then, of course, Dr. Rogers is going to be with us next week, and he's going to be talking about, and of course it's been in the news, the different, some of the diseases that these deer have been getting. That's right. It's been found in our state, right here on our doorstep, that sort of thing. He's going to talk about these diseases so that, if we've got the information, we know what to look for, it kind of takes the fear out of it. I'm a full believer in, hey, knowledge is power. And if you go into knowing what's going on, then you're not as likely to be scared of it. So he's gonna talk to us about what we should be looking for, the likelihood of, hey, can this stuff that these deer are getting be transferable to cattle? And or horses, or any of our larger livestock that we happen to. Cattle is just something that you find grazing out in the pasture with deer a lot in our area anyway. So those kind of things. He's going to go over all of that. We're going to go over some immunizations for different diseases and that sort of thing that you need to make sure that you're up on with cattle and that sort of thing.
I was going to say I don't want any shots.
Well, you don't want one for me. I leave a knot every time. I can't help it. My black leg shots, I don't know.
Immunizations, I was like, I don't want any.
Oh, I can give you one. I can cure what ails you. I've got some penicillin.
Volunteering for that.
Hey, if I said Combiotic, would you? Yeah. There's a lot of farmers that are laughing right now, going, "Oh, I don't want one of those." It's a huge needle. So, anyway, but he's going to come in next week, and he's going to kind of go through all of the the confusion with it, what to look for and all that good stuff. That way when hunting season gets here, which is right around the corner, we'll know. And then after that, Philip Sharp and Gabe Jenkins from actually Kentucky Wildlife are going to be in, and they're going to tell us exactly where these deer have been found and exactly where they are and how close is it, how should we be worried. And so they're going to educate us on that as well. So I will tell you, it's going to be a really great series that I'm looking forward to. And, of course, Ducks Unlimited, we added that yesterday. So I think that'll be great coming in because we don't want to focus on just deer. There's all kinds of things. You mentioned squirrel hunting.
I did.
That was fun when I was a kid. We used to do all kinds of stuff like that. So and I'm getting older, and now I need to do more of that so that, it's
good exercise.
It absolutely is. Hey, on Wednesday, and actually all weekend long would be a great weekend to do that, to get out and just hike. Tomorrow, is it tomorrow or Wednesday, I guess, that our weather is supposed to be a high of 79 tomorrow with sunshine.
Going to be gorgeous. And then
so I don't think you can beat that, right?
All the way through the Labor Day holiday, the weather is just looking fantastic. High temperatures in the low 80s, right around 80 to low 80s, and then, of course, lows in the night 60s. And I think tomorrow night, chance we'll see some upper 50s for our overnight low. So
I'll take that all day. Are you kidding me?
For the latter part of August into September, boy,
right?
That is good stuff. And for Labor Day holiday, boy.
Well, and speaking of the holiday coming up, I know we've got a long weekend, but just around the corner, We think about, or I do at least, that Black Patch, we've got a month or so away. No, it's like it's basically here. It's right around the corner, right?
Yeah, Friday, September 6th, the parade kicks off. Of course, we'll have our co-grand marshals, Judy Bowes and Dot McConnell in the parade.
So
WPKY will
sweet.
be on hand for that. And, of course, it is a full day on Saturday, September the 7th. And we certainly appreciate lots and lots of wonderful sponsors. I went through a partial list of those earlier this morning, and we'll give it some more out, helping you bring the WPKY coverage to the radio. Blooms by the Brook Athletic Center, Lusby Heating and Air, Hometown Smokes, Black Patch Grill, Ruesseau Law, Jeff was just here, Food Giant, Markham Automotive, A&C Recycling, Bows and Cleats, Penny Royal Hospice, Planters Bank, McGregor Heating and Cooling, Honda of Princeton, Rushing Chiropractic, Joyner Hardware, Morgan's Funeral Home, Luna Vet Clinic, Clint's Body Shop, and West Kentucky Real Estate in auction. So just a few of our Black Patch sponsors. We certainly appreciate them because we've got a full weekend of broadcast crew going to be on hand to do the parade, and of course downtown Princeton. We got you covered here on WPKY. So.
It's going to be fun. I mean, the band is, when you've got the Caldwell County Band of Pride, and then you've got the sports groups and the kids and the beauty pageant queens, and one right after, how can you go wrong? It's going to be so much fun. And of course, the Black Patch Parade is always the perfect way to kind of kick off Black Patch.
That's exactly right. There are Optimist Club, the Princeton Optimist Club, circulating the Black Patch Heritage Festival catalogs.
That's a nice book, by the way.
It's a nice catalog and schedule of events in there. Of course, some information about our 2019 co-grand marshals, Judy Bowes and Dot McConnell.
They're so cute.
And the history and the trivia questions highlight this year. There's a lot of good history. The Caldwell County Historical Society, the Fredonia Historical Society, Roy Jean Rogers, and a lot of folks have gotten together and included a lot of history in this catalog, as well as trivia questions about previous Black Patches.
I love that because it's something that I don't know a lot of the trivia and that sort of thing like I should, and a lot of it, as a kid growing up here, that I things I should have paid attention to and didn't, or might not have known. I mean, this is really neat trivia.
So here's a question. When did the majority of buildings, including the 3 brick Rice buildings in the Fredonia Business District, burn?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a tough one. We're going to need the Fredonia Valley Historical Society to help us with that one.
Well, I know the answers to everything. I just can't give it away.
And then how was Fredonia named? I always wanted to know that
wonderful.
one. I've heard a couple of stories about that one. I think I heard that at one of the Historical Society meetings. But
I have a guess, but I wouldn't want to.
And see, there was a big feud one time. I say feud. It wasn't really a feud, but what does the town of Kelsey have to do with Fredonia? There was a town called Kelsey.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I've heard that story as well. So there are some interesting.
Roy Jean was talking about that. I will tell you, and there's going to be like a day that is scheduled to go over all the answers, right?
I don't know.
From what I'm hearing,
anyway. Yeah, there will be a time when we'll get answers. To the questions. George Kilgore will be here on Friday. Roy Jean might be with him coming up this Friday for Coffee Talk. So we
we'll
might get some
them.
more information about that, and then they'll also be popping in next week right before all the festivities begin as well. So look for this catalog out there. It is beautiful and has all kinds of great information about our Black Patch Heritage Festival that's coming up September 6th and 7th.
I think
Princeton.
That's amazing. I really do. I'm enjoying it. I tell you what, we're going to go to a break real quick, and then we're going to come back. And, of course, don't get me wrong, we've got our football picks. I finally checked to see how many games that I won on the Friday pick'em, so I'll let everybody in on that in just a minute.
Right?
I might brag about it just a minute, but it's a lot of fun, and that's the main thing. And I want everybody to be able to do the same thing that I did. It's very easy, and we'll tell you all about that next. And Tess and Ty on 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Currently cloudy. We do have a 60% chance of showers that should give way by this evening. A high 82 today. Clear overnight tonight, a low down to 61. And here comes the sun for Wednesday. Tomorrow, a high near 79. Check that out. Sunshine for Thursday as well, a high near 82. Weather Edge Futurecast calling for sunshine lasting all the way through the Labor Day holiday. But again, for today, that 60% chance of showers lingers through this evening. Should be clearing out, a high 82. It's currently 74 and cloudy at WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Fredonia Valley Bank.
Hey guys, Heidi with Capitol Cinemas, your local Princeton movie theater with your weekday lineup. In Cinema 1, Overcomer, 2 hours, rated PG. In Cinema 2, The Silent Natural, 2 hours and 20 minutes, rated PG. And in Cinema 3, Dora and the Lost City of Gold, 1 hour 45 minutes, rated PG. All 3 movies show Monday through Thursday at 6:30. Call during showtime hours at 270-365-0200 or visit us at capitalcinemas.net. Thanks for listening. See you at the show.
Here's your
1580 103.3 WPKY, Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk.
You hear that? You kind of. I hear that.
You're supposed to ignore it. I didn't hit the button
I
accidentally.
hear that noise in my sleep, and I just pop up and go, okay. I'm not kidding. It'll be 2 o'clock in the morning. I hear.
Your WPKY weather
and man, I'm ready to give it away.
It's in your head. It's all in your head. You didn't hear anything.
Okay. I didn't think I did. I don't have my headphones on, so it may just be imagining.
I hear nothing.
Got it.
You can prove nothing. Hey, this is what I can prove. I actually got a few games right.
Okay, let's go ahead and brag about your Friday night pick'em.
Well, I'm just saying maybe I might have gotten 5 out of 7 games right. And if I had have,
You did.
I did. I'm actually a little bit shocked because I really, other than Caldwell County, our game, I wasn't really sure about any of them that I was picking, but I thought, hey, I'll do my best.
How did you do with the tiebreaker score?
How did I do? Oh, well,
okay, so
I was really sure of myself on that tiebreaker score.
Well, and here's the thing: if you look there, see the 64% of the fans picked Christian County High School to win that game. Yep.
Well, I didn't. Ha ha ha.
So, and there was the average score 23-20. So
I'm telling you,
that
this
was
thing
actually
is
pretty
so
close because
neat.
it was 19-14. But
it really is. It's really neat. It's so easy because I'm not overly great at a lot of computer stuff and apps and trying to do all of that. I told Ty, I said, I'm going to time myself because I want to know exactly how long it takes me to do this thing. And it took 5 minutes exactly, not only for me to log on, get a username, get my password set up, and do all my picks. It was 5 minutes total. And then all I had to do was click on there, and it showed me where I'd lost 2 games, and then I got really worried.
I'd say you did pretty good.
The rest of them were okay. So, and then you can actually check to see what standings you're in as well.
You got 5 out of 7.
Like the leaders. So. Wait a minute. It said right there. I'm actually ranked 27th. It says it right there.
Yep.
How about that?
You got 5
I
to
will
7.
tell you, this is the neatest thing. I really like it. So if you're like us and you like sports and like who doesn't? YourSportsEdge.com for Friday night pick'ems. Make sure you go there and you click on it. You can create groups. You can keep up with one another. You can have some competitiveness between people. Not that we're competitive people at all, but I'm just saying that it's a good way to get your car washed if the other person doesn't pick them right and you do.
There's all kinds of things. Of course, it's powered by Herb Hayes Furniture, too, so that's a cool thing, too.
And winners every week, so I think that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you go on and you click on that. It's a whole lot of fun. If nothing else, it's a whole lot of fun.
No doubt
And it's
about
free.
It. Yeah, that's even
if
better.
If you can have fun, win stuff, and it's free, I'm in.
Yeah, and all this, you can access that, again, as Tess said, is YourSportsEdge.com. You can also go to WPKYOnline.com, and you can kind of see a link to it, too. But and of course, your Sports Edge app is always cool to have on your phone as well.
Right.
So all kinds of ways to play and do.
Don't get me wrong. I'm having trouble with my truck this week. I am. Let's see. It's very sick. And I'll tell you, Ty brought in this beautiful truck yesterday and set it right in front of the studio for me to really look at and love.
It wasn't my truck.
It wasn't his truck. It was Trice Hughes' truck. And, of course, our test drive yesterday.
It could be your truck.
It could be my truck. It might be my truck. You never know. I will tell you, these trucks, I've been looking at them over the last couple of days because, again, my baby is sick at the moment, so I'm taking the opportunity to look elsewhere.
Sounds like an opportunity to buy.
That is right. So I've been over there looking lately, and they have got some gorgeous pickup trucks. A whole line of them. I've been very clouded lately by the Camaros in the orange and the green and the SS stripes and, all the fun and how fast you can go. I've been very distracted by those Camaros. And before that, I was very distracted by the Jeeps. And so now I'm like, okay, well, let's get serious here. Let's look at something that we can possibly need at this moment. And then you show up in that truck yesterday, so that got me looking at these trucks. And I actually did it from the house. Normally, I will sit here and drool over them, even from across the street, because I can see them really well. But I did them from home just to kind of see exactly what they had and that sort of thing. You can do it all right there from your couch. And it's so easy. It's TriceHughesGM.com, and they've actually revamped the website. So you have even better things to look at, and you can really get nitty-gritty about what they've got on the lot, what color it is, what all the functions are, what the price is, you name it. Now, if you've got something, maybe you're not looking for a truck, you want an SUV or a car, that's fine. They can do that. The process is the same for that. You don't have to switch everything up for it. You can give them a call at 270-896-0753, and they're going to get to work for you. Again, all you got to do is tell them what you're looking for, and the guys and gals over there are really helpful, and they will do everything they can to find exactly what you need. Now, every week they have a hometown deal of the week, thank goodness, because, hey, everybody needs a good deal, especially here hometown. And this week's hometown deal of the week is a 2016 Chevy Equinox, all-wheel drive. Ty, look at this thing. Leather. I love a good leather interior. Kelley Blue Book fair purchase price $22,547. Trice priced at $21,300. I don't think it gets much better.
The home team at Trice Hughes has done it again.
Absolutely. It's Trice priced. It's the hometown deal of the week, and of course there will be another one next week. Visit them on Highway 91 North in Princeton. Of course, they want your business, so give Trice a try. Hey, it is time for us to head out of here, but Audrey Lamb is going to be up next with your news here in just a bit. Of course, Fox News is going to get you all up to date worldwide and let you know what's going on here and there and away, far and away, I guess is what I'm looking for. And, of course, your full forecast will be up in just a second. We'll let you know exactly how long you have to take the umbrella for the next couple of days. And, hey,
won't need it for long.
I don't believe you could say tomorrow's forecast enough times all day long. I think you could do a whole channel of nothing but, because it's that nice. It is 9:01 with Tess and Ty. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Hey, 1580 103.3 WPKY.
PKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Kentucky Home Realty. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Well, it looks like some chance of showers and thunderstorms this morning. 60% chance of showers that should die down by this evening. High 82. Tonight, mostly clear, low 61. And tomorrow, sunshine, high 79. It's 74 at 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Kentucky Home Realty.
Coming soon in the 2019, a state-of-the-art memory care unit at Princeton Health and Rehab. This unit will have 38 available beds, its own dining and activity areas, which will include a multi-sensory snooze-lit room, a highly therapeutic environment for the purpose of delivering high levels of stimuli to patients with dementia. The highly desirable setting and space will fill up quickly. Please contact Angie Copeland today to secure your place. Call 270-705-0688.
Dunks Used Tires and Wheels, where the customer is always number one. So when life's throwing you a number two, just remember, Dunks Tires and Wheels, because we'll be here for you. We sell used custom wheels and tires and do plug and patch repair. We have all tread styles and sizes in stock. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and on call for emergencies. Call 270-963-6391. Dunks Used Tires and Wheels, where the customer is always number one.
The voice of Caldwell County. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The president of Iran says he has no interest in meeting with President Trump for just a photo opportunity.
President Hassan Rouhani appearing to pour cold water on an effort by France to bring the American and Iranian leaders together. In a speech in Tehran, Rouhani saying, unless the U.S. lifts sanctions, we will not witness any positive development.
Fox's Simon Owen. Lawyers for Johnson & Johnson say they'll appeal a judge's $572 million judgment against the company, calling the decision flawed. Companies accused of exaggerating the effectiveness of opioid painkillers and understating their addictiveness.
It's the first opioid case in the state to make it to trial and could help shape negotiations in future lawsuits. Oklahoma Attorney General Mike Hunter says the company is being held accountable for thousands of deaths and addictions.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The first federal opioid trial against drug makers starts in October. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm or two until late this afternoon. Mostly cloudy this evening with a high near 82. Tonight mostly clear with a low of 61. And then on Wednesday, sunshine returns with a high near 79. That sunshine sticking around all the way through the weekend with highs in the lower 80s. Again, showers likely today, possibly a thunderstorm or two. Should clear up by this evening, high near 82.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Wallace Towing.
Hi, honey. Just picked up the kids. First week of school done. Maybe we celebrate with Chili's 3 for $10. Windows up or down, Sammy? Yeah, they love the crispers. And hey, sweetie, let's practice food later, okay? Thank you. All right, got it, Riley. Stop holding your breath, buddy. Riley. Okay, love you. See you at Chili's.
It couldn't be easier with Chili's 3 for $10. Starter, entree, and drink, always just $10. With your favorite entrees like hand-battered chicken crispers, our Just Bacon Burger, and more. Together, we Chili's. Available at participating restaurants only. Prices may vary in Hawaii and Alaska.
The Home Depot's making it easy to turn your favorite moment into the perfect color for any room with the Project Color app. Upload any image, then discover the colors and paint to match. Now you're a swipe and a click closer to everything you need for your next project. Explore the most popular colors and trending palettes to find your perfect paint. Get a colorful new experience with the Project Color app, then shop our best brands with gallons starting from just $24.98 at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
Thanks for voting Pet Grooming by David Rogers #1 pet grooming in all of Western Kentucky. David has over 30 years experience and is the only AKC certified groomer in the area. When you want an upscale doggy daycare for your family pet, look to Rogers Pet Grooming and Boarding.
You can always expect great things at Planters Bank. When we say expect great things, what we're really saying is Planters Bank is here to provide the financial services you need. Planters Bank believes in the strength of our community and is a full-service financial institution. Our employees have a true passion for helping our neighbors, and it shows. See Jake Pepper and the rest of the Planters Bank staff at 208 North Jefferson. Planters Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
At Penny Ryle Electric, our residential prepay program is an alternative to traditional billing. Members say they like it because they don't have to pay the deposit they'd have to pay with traditional billing, and they receive daily information about energy usage. That information helps them to use energy more efficiently. You pay for electricity in advance, and as you use electricity, your account balance decreases. Check your account balance online and opt to receive a low balance email or text. It's just another way we at Penny Ryle Electric hope to make your life simpler and more energy efficient.